Okay, we're going to start cooking our Thanksgiving turkey. First you got to start out with a pretty high quality one. This one is not cheap. It's about $2.80 a pound, but it's very good. I've had a lot of luck with these. Just clean out your sink. You're going to cut the plastic off. You're going to clean it inside the sink, and then you're going to put it in your roasting rack. Alright, once we get the bird cleaned, we're going to stick it in a roasting pan, which has an aluminum liner, and then the rack that we're going to put olive oil all over to make sure it doesn't stick. Just rub it on these with some paper towels. Got to make sure you have your digital thermometer, core temperature of at least 165. Make sure you're not touching the bone when you put that in. I want to make sure that it is 325 that I'm doing it with, so just because your stove says it is doesn't mean a whole lot. I confirmed it with this. Baster, when it's all finished, I'm not going to be opening the door of the oven the whole time, but when it's finished, this is good to have. So let's get the bird cleaned up and ready to go. Okay, once you get the bird cleaned off, make sure you take all the internal parts out. There's a lot of stuff in both ends that you can use later. I don't, but if you do, that's great. I don't put stuffing on the inside of the bird. I'm going to use 1 onion and 2 oranges. I'm going to quarter these, stick these inside. This will add the flavor. This is a 17-pound bird. Once we get that in, going to stick these under, and now it's ready to go onto the rack. Okay, I've preset the racks so this fits evenly. Very careful not to burn. Now, even though there's extra space in here, I don't want to keep opening the oven back and forth, so once I close this, we're done, and you got to cut it up. In all honesty, years ago, I used to go a little more high-end, and it just didn't work out too well. Everybody else wants to cut the bird up, and they bang into stuff. These knives and this block is not cheap, and it just wasn't worth it. So I switched over to just cutting it right on the rack, and I used something a lot cheaper. This works great. And if your uncle, your brother, or your dad decides to slam into this and ruin everything, you're out about $15 for this electric knife and maybe $10 for the rack. It's not like it used to be where I've got well over $200–300 here, and they just don't see the love in it that I do. So trust me, switch over to something easier. Even though it's not quite as professional, it's going to save a lot of aggravation in the end. Okay. 3 hours in on a 17-pound bird at 325 degrees. I'm right at about 154 degrees. I need to pass 165. So after 3 hours, I got a little bit more to go. I'm going to wait about another half hour. Alright, 3 hours and 20 minutes in. We're at 180, which is well past what we need. Turned out nice and golden brown. I'm very happy. So to you and yours, have a good Thanksgiving. Enjoy.